and make it so insignificant in terms of money that it won't be hard for you. And you gradually build that up. This is why I tell everybody, you're not going to get good at trading your first year. You're not going to get good at trading in your first 2 years. It's going to take you 5 to 10 years to get really good at trading. What's my definition of good? You know yourself. You know what's going to keep you from blowing up, and you avoid it. You soberly consider the risks that are involved, not just what's the maximum I can make here. See, I guarantee you, if we were doing a poll, like if we were in a live event and I gave out this handout in the beginning, it was a questionnaire, real quick questionnaire, and then you had to drop it off in a box before I got up on the stage, start talking to everybody. It would be, what are you more likely to feel impulsive about? Going after the big money or fear of the losing trade? You're going to be impulsive about making the big money because that's what you've been. Me, every other educator out there, every author, every YouTuber, any influencer, we all do the same thing. We all talk a good game about you can make money doing this, but not all of us talk about the perils of losing money. I do that, and a couple other large name people do it too. But from my knowledge, I've never seen anybody break it down to a point where it's humble beginnings and you start there. I didn't learn that from somebody else. I had to figure that stuff out. And I abandoned it foolishly and just started going after Lambo lifestyle. I want to have the Lux lifestyle, luxury. Everything Report magazine, that's what I was aiming for. Not, this is the number of pips and points I can get in the marketplace consistently, and I'm going to use money management to do all the heavy lifting. I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm a math guy, science guy, and I got lost in the money. That's what happens, folks. It's exactly what happens. And I know some of you are going to think to yourselves, well, I'm not going to be into that. ICT was a fool. We all get bit by that bug. Greed, man, it's a venom that you just don't understand until you feel it. And the problem is you don't even know you're under its influence until it's too late. Ruin. Then you're like, oh, if I just would have realized at that moment. And yeah, every time I blew my account, I know the exact moment I should have not done the very thing, but yet I still did it because I had no structure. I had no way of determining what it was that I was aiming for. And it's not just a dollar amount. What are you striving for? What is it you're aiming for your trading? What's the goal? What's the reasons why you're doing all this stuff? If it's just to make money, okay, how much? How are you gonna earn that much money? What is it you're trying to do? If you looked at trying to make 1% a day, you'll find out that 1% is pretty easy. And what happens is you get greedy because you know you can get that 1%, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to get it. Now, to make 1% one time a week, that is amazing results, folks. Okay, so before I go any further, just know that if that's all you do, you're killing it. Okay, don't let these guys out here that are trying to tell you they make 20%, 50R trades every single week. Okay, because believe me, they would put me on welfare if they were making that kind of money, and they would be proving it. They don't. If they're making that kind of money, why are they trading 0.5 lots on their Forex trades? You've been trading like this, making 50R and 200R trades for 2 years, and you're still beneath one full standard lot? Come on now. It doesn't hold up. The logic doesn't equate to them telling the truth. So you have to have that in mind as a trader. You have to know where the bullshit is, draw a line in it, and say, okay, this is what's going to get me in trouble if I aim to do those things. If I try to duplicate what I see other people doing on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on ICT videos or whatever, that's not you. You need to go back to your roots. Where are you at right now? Where do you live? How do you live? What do you have to pay? Because those bills Whether you watch an ICT video, whether you learn from me or someone else, those bills are coming every single month. That end needs to be met. Now, you have to work your job or jobs, maybe going to school and work your job. You have expenses. They have to be met. You're struggling right now, but that is a temporary thing. That's temporary. It's hard to look past it. When I first got with my wife, when I felt confident, because in the beginning, I did not tell her what I was doing and how I had what I had. And you can look down on me all you want, but I got burned early on with bad relationships. So she was a humble girl, and I was attracted to her. Over time, once I trusted her, once we had our second child, then she knew who I was. It didn't change her. I have a good one. And that's how she gets the rewards of a queen, because she didn't expect it in the beginning. Chase me because of that. There's a life lesson in that. Both sides. Her visibility was limited. Because when I first told her what I have and what I can do and what I earn, she didn't believe me. And then I sat her down in front of the computer screens and I said, now watch what I do here. She said, that can't be real money. And then it was transferred to the bank. And then we went to the bank and I did a withdrawal and she saw it. And she said, this is not your money. I said, you're right. It's not my money. It came from other people doing the wrong thing and they lost. I won. Now it is mine. It's in my hand. So I'm claiming this money now as mine, but it's not my money because they lost it fair and square. They made a decision. Their liquidity was my gain. And she's not impressed to this day. She understands it. She understands that money comes from that, but she's not impressed by it. So again, that gets back to the root cause of why you're doing this. Are you doing this to make ends meet? Are you trying to do this to impress your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, their in-laws, somebody else outside yourself? Because if you're doing that, I promise you, you're going to do things recklessly. You're going to try to live up to some expectation that nobody's asked you to live up to. Ooh, wish somebody would have told me that. Because when I was 20, I was trying to do shit that nobody asked me to do. But in my mind, because I wanted to feel significant, I did it. I would overspend on dumb shit for people that didn't deserve it, didn't even love me, didn't care about me, weren't really my friends. But I was doing those things instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to focus on making ends meet. What's my goals? What's my purpose of operating this week, this trading day? What's my goal? What's my goal for the week? What's my goal for the month? What's the goal for this quarter? I wasn't doing that. I was looking at how much can I afford to trade? Because that's what I'm trading with. All in, all the time. And that's stupidity. And that's also the reason why I wasn't afraid when the account would get blown. I'm 20, I got plenty of years. You know, I got all the time in the world. It's just going to take me a little bit harder and I'll get another job delivering pizza, work all day in the evening time. I work at Domino's and I deliver pizza. Do a magic trick at the door for the kids. Here's $5. Thank you very much. I only got to get 20 deliveries like that. I got $100. Well, do that 6 days a week. It wasn't long. I had enough money to put in their account and I'm trading again. So that didn't deter me. That didn't cause me to fear doing the all-in type of trading because I knew what I was doing was reckless. I was making that decision to do it instead of being sober-minded about it. Not that I was drunk because I never drank alcohol, but I was drunk in the sense that I needed this to be a big play all the time and not realizing all the time I was wasting. If I just would have did small incremental gains, I would have grown more accustomed to and acclimated myself to the pressures of holding these big positions. You know, trading 50 contracts of Chicago Board Trade wheat on the day where they removed the limits. It was in July. And there was an issue with the crops. and this thing went nuts. And if I just would have had another cent, maybe a cent and a half, it would have stopped me out, and I would have owed money to the brokerage firm, money that I didn't have. But it went in my favor, and I got out too soon, too short of where it really went that day. But I dodged a bullet that day, and that was the one that scared the hell out of me, because I was like, that could have really ruined me. But you live, you learn. And I had to start thinking about, what is it I'm doing? Am I just in here playing lottery? Because that's really what I was doing. I was trying to win the lottery. And you can't do that and last long in this business, because the lottery wins don't come like that. There's books written by people that, I made this much money, I had a windfall victory over here. Windfalls are not consistent. They're not likely to happen for you. They're less likely to ever happen for you than anything else. So you have to lower your expectations and have no fear about that. Don't give a shit about these people on the internet that are lying to you, saying they're killing it, they're doing this, they're trading 10 times better than that guy, but they got no fucking proof. None of that stuff. They talk out their ass. The whole time you're worrying about all that stuff. You're listening to all that stuff instead of just doing what it is that makes the most sense. The least that can be done consistently. And letting time and money management, the compounding interest of doing the same little thing over and over and over again, that's easy to accomplish. 5 handles in the E-mini S&P, 5 pips or 25 pips a week in Forex. Oh, I could do so much better than that. Okay, why aren't you retired? The same kids that talked to me, that was to me in 2019 on Twitter, want to bark at me, and they're trying to hawk a system. Dude, why aren't you rich? Why aren't you proving you're making your money? Why can't you go out there and show a live account? You're showing MT4 screenshots. These people are constantly distracting you, and you're buying into that bullshit. You're being distracted, and you're not sitting down, and you're not working on yourself. You're not minding your own business. This business is not going to run itself. You have to run it. And if you're worried about Tom, Dick, and Harry, and dollar menu mentorships over here, you're not going to learn how to do this for yourself. You're going to flounder and fail. And you're going to sit there and think to yourself, man, how long have I been doing this? And if you start doing that and you start taking inventory and you don't include all the bullshit that you're looking at and wasting time worrying about keeping up with the Joneses over here, this one's saying that they can do that, but they ain't got any proof. Why are you wasting time? If you have not realized that by looking around now, the world is vastly changing. It's so quickly changing. Every week, something new's coming up, and it isn't good. And your job right now, that's not fucking guaranteed. You have no idea how hard it's going to be. And if you don't put your nose into the charts and start studying, I promise you, you will be typing emails to me saying, I wish I would have fucking listened. Because I had people doing that the last 2 years. And I don't want to receive those kind of emails. They hurt because you didn't listen to me. I'm not asking you to give me anything. Don't pay me nothing. You don't send me nothing. But you better fucking listen, because if you don't, I promise you, you are not going to be prepared. Your jobs are not guaranteed. Your income is not guaranteed. One of your jobs, say you and your spouse are working. One of you might get sick. One of you might get ill, not be able to work. Can you keep that up and not lose your home, your cars, your health insurance, care for your children? This is a wake-up call. I'm doing this because I give a shit. I know there's going to be a lot of you that aren't going to be prepared for this. But if I do what I'm doing here and you don't do it, I have a clean conscience. You were given detailed instructions. You were talked to by someone. I care about you. I don't know you, but I care about you. All of you are on my mind all the time, because I know you're out there fucking around, looking at stupid shit, wasting your time, and you're going to hurt yourself. Wasting time and money. Here, right here, the guy talking to you, I'm giving you my time. I'm giving you my experience. I'm holding your hand. But you got to start doing the work, because if you don't, shit's going to be turned upside down real soon. And what you think you're able to do right now to earn a living and pay for things to meet these ends, it's going to get harder. And that should scare the shit out of you, because it does me, and I'm a multimillionaire. I'm not fearful because I know who I believe in. I know my needs will be met. But I'm fearful for my family members that aren't as equipped as I am. I'm constantly bailing out family members, helping them do things. Friends, the same way. I love these people. I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of. I'm the first to offer it. They're not coming to me asking for it. I'm blessed to be in that situation. That's my nature. That's not virtue signaling. I'm telling you, this is something I have dealt with my entire life, seeing other people lack and doing what I can. And some people I can't help. Like some students that come to me, they say they do all the, and they show 10 pages in a journal. It's not work. I'm doing it. That's just writing down what you heard me say, not going into the charts and finding it yourself and then journaling that. That's the work. That's the boring part. That takes a lot of time. It eats up a lot of time. Your football time, your boys out time, your girls night out time. And for me, it was my own family. Not going to soccer games and baseball games. Missing out on that. Making sure that I had enough to take care of everybody. Because I was focused on ends. I was already rich. But I know that money can go like that. And you need to get yourself prepared. And you start by having very easy objectives. And let compound interest do that magic. Trust me, folks. You don't believe me? No problem. Do a spreadsheet. I don't care what you start with. Do $100. The math is there. I don't think you should be trading with $100. I mean, go back and change that, because I know I've said many times in the past where a lot of people go in and say, oh, I'm going to open up with $100 and I'm going to get rich. No. You got to be properly funded. What is that? I think, honestly, if you're trading less than $10,000, you are not equipped. Not equipped to do what needs to be done. You're going to gamble. You're going to do things, and when you take a loss, it's going to feel like, oh, I'm so close to not having enough money, and you'll trade recklessly. Now, $10,000, I'm talking that amount of money with micros. What? I could trade $30 at AMP. Yeah, I know you can. I can too. But that's stupid. Go into this with very easy, low-hanging fruit objectives. Something so small that you can hit easily. And don't let anybody else out there tell you, oh, you're not good. That's not enough. Oh, you suck. You're never going to get rich doing that. These same people, I'm promising you this, they're the same people that bark at me. They're working a job, folks. They're working a job. They're talking on their text and their little Twitter between their oil changing, okay, before scrubbing the floor at Walmart. Okay, they're all working. They're all working. And they're critiquing you and me. And we're out here doing it. We're calling it. I'm trading it. You're trading it. You're seeing all these other people get there getting funded. They're getting their scratch. They're not sitting on their ass. They're doing the work. They know it isn't going to fall in their lap. They're putting the work in. And you know what? Kudos. Well fucking done. That's the right thing. That's the right thing. Not sitting around just watching videos. I mean, you're never going to get this doing that. You have to study. You have to dig in. You got to go into those charts and say, you know what? I'm going to defer all my wants and all my extra things, my fun stuff. I'm putting that on the side. I ain't got time for that right now. I got business to work right now. I have a business to run. I'm building an empire. I don't have time for all these people in my life dragging me down, giving me some bullshit I got to worry about. You got your own life to worry about. I'm worrying about mine. I got a family to take care of. I have a legacy to build. I have to prepare. There's some shit coming. There's a storm coming. I got to make sure I'm ready for it. There's got to be a fire under your ass. If it's not there, check out. Turn off. Don't come back to this channel. Don't look at me. Don't look at any of my videos. Don't do any of that shit, because the only thing you're going to do is going to piss and moan that it doesn't work for you because you didn't do the work. Because there's all these people around you, they're proving it. And none of them regret it. They all say one thing: I wish I would have listened sooner. And this is one of those series that I want you all to know going in. This is some really real shit. You have to get ready. Things are going to get so hard economically. You aren't ready for it. I'm not ready for it. That's why I'm steady in here. I'm trading. I am in here. Okay, I'm getting ready to hunt and do all kinds of shit in the fall. I'm ready. And I got millions. I'm not ready. So you're going to talk to me? Oh yeah, I got a funded account. I'm ready. You ain't ready. You are not ready. You got to constantly be working. But don't lose sight. Don't get stupid. Don't get in here and start making crazy bets because you want to see a windfall victory. That stuff isn't time for that. This is getting your ends meet. Getting your ends to meet every single week, every single month. Not worrying about it, because I can tell you something. Scared money makes no money. If you're scared shitless, because you're probably going to lose your job. Your spouse is about ready to lose their job. Your car went up and you can't afford no $55,000 for a fucking Tacoma that's overpriced. Everything's overpriced. The limited Highlander I just replaced my 19 with, $68,000. That truck should not be $68,000. Everything's jacked up. Everything. Just because I'm ICT doesn't mean I'm exempt. I got to pay shit that's exorbitant just like anybody else does. But are you in a position where you can just go out there and just dip in? Here you go. Here's $68,000 for a new Highlander. Here's $62,000 for a Rubicon. Here's $55,000 for a Tacoma for your son. I didn't pay cash for that one though. But it is what it is. It still costs $55,000, right? They're in my ass for $55,000. If my son don't pay it, I got to pay for it, right? So that's an end that has to be met. So I got my thumb on my son pressing. Your ass is going to be working towards getting that bill met every single month. So now he has what? He has a fire under his ass. That's what has to happen sometimes. And when I talk to you, not all of you need these types of discussions. I am aware of that. But I have the young folks in mind because they tend to feel like everything is expected to be given to them, and I'm reminding them that nobody owes you shit. You work for it. And if you don't work for it, you don't fucking get it. And nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you when you can't make ends meet and you didn't get yourself prepared when things get really hard. When things get really hard, these markets are going to go all over the place. And if you're not prepared to be in them, you're without. And if you're without a job, or if you have new financial restrictions placed on you because now you went from 2 incomes to 1, how do you think you're going to be able to trade under that pressure? You're not. You're going to be scared shitless. You're going to be fearful, afraid to push the button, or do reckless trades because you're going to be waiting too long for confirmation. It already moved. And then when you put the trade on, it still might work in your favor, but it starts pulling back and have a natural retracement, and you're afraid. And you get out. And it still goes in your favor if you would have stayed in. That's what scared money does. So that's why I'm telling you, in this series, I really am pushing hard for you to have a very low threshold objective. Something that's so easy, and let money management and the compound interest do all the heavy lifting. You don't ever have to do anything more than just 5 handles in the index market. You don't have to do anything more than 25 pips a week. The money grows, and as it grows, you carry more leverage. The risk doesn't grow in exponential fashion. The monetary association to the equity will, obviously, because that goes with the game. The more money you make, if you're risking 1% of that account and the account is growing, that 1% will grow exponentially too. But you can't understand the effects of that if you try to rush through it. Just because you can get lucky and do over leveraged trades and you get this new equity high, all you out there saying, I want to get a $500,000 funded account. The fuck do? You don't have any idea how to trade a $10,000 account right now. You can't even manage that risk. You're talking about you want $500,000 in a funded account. You want to be able to trade with $500,000 leverage. You're gonna die. You're literally gonna blow your brains out. More money is not how you fix this. It's more experience, growing gradually. I'm fucking telling you, you are not gonna do a $500,000 funded account and do well. If you think you're just going to go up there, pass the challenge, and get that, on your first go, you ain't been trading for a year or 2 or 3, you think they're just going to go out there and do that? I'm telling you, don't think like that. You're doing it wrong. What's the lowest funded account? Go that route. Trade with that, build that up. Because if you can't build that $10,000 or $20,000 leverage funded account up to a $500,000 account in 2 years, guess what? You sure as fuck wouldn't have done anything with that $500,000 account. You're not prepared for it. You have no idea what it feels like to be in those types of trades. That's why you see everybody, they put their little certificate up, said, I got funded. And then 2 weeks later, I blew it. I'm not talking down to you. I'm talking to you. Eye to eye. You're doing what I'm telling you what not to do. And so many of you are in line to do the same bullshit and hurt yourself and prolong this whole process. What's the lowest hanging fruit objective? Do. And as the money grows, more money will be allocated to each trade. The percentage of risk is not increasing. That stays constant. And as the equity grows, the results will grow comparably. And you don't get sucked into this, I have to do it right now. I got to have it all right now. No, you don't, because you're not prepared for it. Mentally, psychologically, you can't handle it. You can't. You cannot handle that type of success. When a winning trade like that gets put on, you're not going to be able to sleep. You'll be out of the trade. I'm telling you, like no doze. You ain't sleeping. Like a crack fiend, okay? Scratching yourself, like that Dave Chappelle meme. You want another hit. You want a little bump. Because it's exciting. And I've had that happen so many times. And it's demoralizing when you realize that's what it was. And that's what you're creating. You're creating that habitual drug usage feeling in your trading. That's not how people do it that are doing this for their lifetime. Career traders are not looking for that bump. They're working their business. They're running their business. They're managing their business. It's not casino time to them. They're going in with the intended purpose. They're not winging it. They're not being influenced by other people. They're not telling them it's not good enough. They don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. They're doing what needs to be done for them, because every one of us has a unique threshold for pain and pleasure. Some of you are a little bit kinkier than I am. In trading, you have to know where your thresholds are. And if you start stretching yourself outside those boundaries, which you're going to learn, as soon as you start trading with live funds, you're going to see how hard it is to hold on to a winning trade. But it's easy to hold on to a losing trade. Why is that? You don't want to submit to a loss.
There are some people for whom good enough.
But you really want to get out of that winning trade because you think it's the only one that's ever going to happen to you. You found the unicorn, and you want to make sure you have evidence, and you want to bring it back and show it to your friends and family, your coworkers, your boss. Ha! Look at this fucker. You said I wasn't ever going to make any money. Look at this. Stick that up your ass. That's what you want. So what are you trading for? Outward validation. Professional traders don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about them, or their trading, or their abilities, or their model, or how little their threshold is that they go for every time they put a trade on. See, in the beginning, you have to have that structure. You have to have that limit placed on you. They're training wheels. And don't let anybody tell you that they're not useful or needed, because they are. Why else is everybody else blown out? Because they have no structure, no limitations placed on themselves. It's 2% risk, no stop. Let's go. And I have no limits on how many times I can take a trade. If I take a loss, I'm going to go back in again because I have enough equity, and I'll keep doing it until I can't, because I know eventually I'm going to get a winning trade. Not taking in consideration that they have no structure. They have no low-hanging threshold to make ends meet. So just going in to throw the dice and see if they get a win, because they know in their mind they're going to go in and manage that winning trade correctly now after taking 5 losing trades in the same day. The fuck you are. Folks, I'm telling you, these are things I did. Not just once, dozens of times. And you got to know that you're not going to be exempt from it. And believe me, this might be an uncomfortable conversation that you don't want to be listening to. You want to get to the part where it feels good. That ain't got kind of serious, folks. This is where the rubber meets the road. I already taught you how to trade. Now I'm telling you how to survive. Because having that 50 caliber Barrett, you could still hurt yourself. There's a whole lot of people out there that buy all the next best things and gadgets and things, and they still are useless because they haven't properly been trained. Your intelligence as a trader, just because you now know this model and you know what it looks like and how to find them, your intelligence as a trader is infantile right now. You're still an infant, you're a baby. And that's not a knock against you. You have to be aware of that. And you have to take baby steps. And then you start moving towards where you're walking a little bit more efficiently without anybody holding your hand. And then eventually you'll get stronger and more coordinated, and then you can run. And then you become an adult. And you have all that adult muscle and capability and stability and agility, all those things that lead towards you are able to do things that a small child can't. And right now, as a small infant in your understanding about the markets and your personal experience, you can't grasp the importance or the weight of the things I'm talking about right now because you haven't endured it yet. But once you do, these types of lessons mean much more.
I have to tell, you're built like a...
But if you take these case studies where you simply watch price action, and you don't know in your present state, if you just began to learn how to do this stuff, you don't know where it's going. You're guessing at everything that's going on, and you're trying to apply an indicator or somebody else's logic while I'm talking about what price is going to do. But you don't want to go into the marketplace looking for a feel-good replacement for generalized stress. Generalized stress is you had a rough day at work, you got a flat tire, you had a blowout in your relationship, a fight, you hurt yourself, you got sick. All these things are triggering. They make you want to do something other than what you're feeling at that moment. Men are usually very, very quick to jump in here and I need to feel good about something. And our currency in the world, we think is, I gotta look stronger. I gotta look faster and more formidable and scary to the rest of the guys. I gotta be intimidating. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm laying down a lifetime of wisdom for free. And I already know it works. And I have students all around the world that are using it, and it's helping them. And they're going to learn how to balance themselves better today, how to focus on things and not try to use the economy of replacement approach of taking a bad day, feeling anxiety, feeling sick, I had a bad day at work, or I didn't get the promotion I was expecting. Something that just doesn't give you a feel-good, sense of accomplishment. Men will go into the trading account and try to do this and replace it with winning money. And it need only be $100. Hey, it's $100. I feel better today. I mean, $100. I can go out there and I can make $100. That's better than walking down the street and finding a $100 bill in front of you, right? I mean, who's going to look at that $100 and say, man, fuck you, I ain't picking you up. But in men's eyes, we think that, hey, I know how to trade. And yes, I hate my fucking job. And yes, my girlfriend's mad at me because I didn't remember our birthday as a relationship, our anniversary, whatever it is we call it. Men, try to find a way to anchor your marriage on a day that you will never forget. And that's why I chose Valentine's Day. I know it's cliche. I know it's kind of like boring, but guess what? I generally don't do well with remembering dates. Like, I love my kids, but sometimes I have to ask my wife, when were they born? And she gets mad if I don't know their weight or what time they're. Women will never forget that shit. But that's why they're helpmeets for us. They have that capacity where we are the go out and get, and they are the stay home and keep. And that's why they're better traders. You don't want to change that composition as a female. And I know some of you out there think that there's more than two sexes, and don't leave me the bullshit because I'm just going to block you. I haven't blocked anybody since I've been back here, but if you give me that bullshit woke stuff, I'm blocking. I don't give a fuck what you think, okay? But there's a male and there's a female. And in trading, the females are better traders because if they have that nesting approach, as they are as women, they don't take crazy risks. They want to keep what they have, and if they can get more, they're trusting their other half to do that. That's the relationship. That's what's been torn down. Men, we think that we have to be fucking Superman and we got to go out and do more than what's necessary. And you bring that same misguided logic to your trading. I got to do more than this other guy did. I got to do more than I did yesterday or I'm not progressing. I got to replace this bad feeling. I'm going to probably get canned. I'm probably going to get fired. My girlfriend saw this other guy's car. We were out on a date, and I kept watching. She was looking at his car. She probably would go out with him if he gave her the time of day. I got to really, really do well. I got to do fast. I got to impress her. If you feel that way about that woman or that man, you're probably with the wrong person. Because if they're not constantly telling you, you know what? I am happy that I have you. And you don't need to do all these other things because the time that you spend with me, I feel fulfilled doing that. Gentlemen, ladies, if you find that, you are rich. You will have the fertile ground that builds a legacy of wealth because chances are they're not going to want to leave you. They're already with you and you have nothing. And if you build this up in front of them, and you allow them to be a source of encouragement, not in the way that we were talking about earlier, but hey, this is what I think I'm going to do, and you expect them to encourage you. They're not going to see technical analysis. They're not going to see trading and speculation. Any losing trade, a female is going to be like, is this the beginning of financial turmoil? Because they're nesting. Their capacity as a human is to protect what is theirs. They don't want to upset the household. They don't want to upset the family element. They want to keep peace. Men, we get out there and we try to tear shit up because we feel like we got to be Godzilla, stomp down on everything. Don't fuck with me and my family. That's the way it is. And we can laugh about it, or we can look at it and say, oh, this is stupid. This guy's giving dumb analogies. But this is the facts. Women are better because they think that way. How do they mess up? When they try to be a man. When they try to do things like a man, go out there and do more than necessary. Compete. Be competitive. I want to do better than this so-and-so. And there's some toxic females on social media. You'd think they had a penis. Bigger sack than most men. Walking around talking bullshit. More foul-mouthed than I am sometimes. They're compensating. They're compensating. And some of them, if I could be honest, and you give me the liberty to be able to say so, some of them are actually very attractive. And you would think, why would you even act the way you're acting? Like, you're literally a beautiful person on the outside, but you're ugly as fuck in the inside, and you're producing that from the things you speak and how you behave. So all these things are outside influences that are going to cause you to derail yourself, but you won't recognize them unless you journal them. When you place a microscope over every decision you're making and every thought that you have, when you have these things under the microscope of a journal, and you constantly encourage yourself through positive self-talk, that means if there is something that happened bad, that was an adverse response to something you did or indirectly didn't do at all, it just happened to you, like a car accident. You didn't want this truck to hit you, but you couldn't avoid it. You were sitting at a red light, and they hit you. And that's a bad day. That sucks. But you couldn't have done nothing to avoid it. That's manual intervention. That's the same thing happens when you're in a trade. Everything looks like it's there, and then bam! What the hell just happened? Well, you got a taste of it. Does that mean trading, throw it out the window? No. It just means that that's why you have to have a stop loss. That's why you shouldn't over leverage. Period. Now, how's that for logic versus going out there, having no idea what's going on, putting money into an account to discover that you don't know how to trade, and now you have compounded difficulty because you lost your $100 account because you have to learn with real money. If you want to spend $100 so badly, go out there, drive around town, and find somebody that's homeless and stick that $100 bill in their fucking hand and say, you know what? Have a good day. Have a good day and get something to eat. Because you're going to have a better feeling about that than you losing that $100 discovering that you just gambled it away. And you created scar tissue as a developing student and as a trader. You now have to go through the process of digging through that painful, I got bad experience now. I have adverse response to me making these decisions with real money. And yes, it was $100. And when I put it in the account, I knew if I lost it, it shouldn't have bothered me. Because guess what? When it goes down to $25 or if it goes down to $50, you're fucking sick to your stomach. I should have never did this. I'm mad. I got to get it back. And what have you done? You've evolved into a gambler, and you're trying to do what? Replace negative with a victory that's not assured to you. And you're doing it with a clouded mind. You're doing it under stress. You have no idea how to calm yourself down. You have no idea to come out of that negative, toxic thought that you have to have it back right now. Why? Why do you need to have that loss back right now? Because you think that you are less of a person, less of a trader, you're a failure as a trader if you can't get it back right away. And that is grade A bullshit. That's bullshit. Who told you that? Who told you that you have to win that back right now because you just lost it? Nobody. But it's in your fucking head. It's in your head that you think that that's exactly what every profitable trader can do. They take a losing trade and they get it back real quick before the end of the day. That is bullshit. That's not how it works. That's how you go on tilt. That's how you blow your accounts. That's how every time I blow an account, that's exactly how it happened. I got to fix this. I feel less of a man. I feel less of a trader. I don't feel profitable. I don't feel capable. I'm not going to be successful unless I can do this. Get it right back the same day. I got to do this or I can't be successful. This will define my ability to be successful or not. If I can't get that loss back right now, I can't be successful. That's exactly what you're lying to yourself with. You're lying to yourself with that. And you believe the bullshit. You're believing it. And that is causing scar tissue. You have no idea how much harder you're making it when you place these types of constraints on yourself. You're placing much more workload on your back than is necessary to be a trader. You have no reason to think that way. Zero. But it feels right when you're doing it, and it's the wrong perspective. When you're learning and you do things wrong, and it's an adverse reaction and response, You take it home. You take it home like an orphan, like a stray dog, and you nurture it and say, you know what? It didn't work out well today. You look hungry. You need to be bathed. You need to be nurtured a little bit. And you talk positive to it. Say, you know what? I'm going to use you to feel good by doing the right things, not feel good by taking chances and gambling to fix you as a trade. I'm going to go home and teach myself that you aren't going to take me out. You're not going to break me if I have to feed you, stray animal. I can afford to give you a meal and clean you up and find you a good home or keep you as mine. How do you keep a losing trade? Doing the right things, not emotionally, not psychologically imbalanced and going, I got to do it right now, fix it. You come out of that drawdown with less risk that you did when you took the loss. What does that do? Number one, it prevents the likelihood of you having this toxic mindset about going in and fixing it right away. What do you think it feels like when you do it by risking less money and you get that loss back? Feels real good. Because now, with half the effort, half the risk, you can recover and mitigate that loss.
Hello? Babaloo, is Shaylee. I was going through your pockets and found...
How about that? But what happens if you take another losing trade because maybe you're still scared and it's hurt your feelings and hurt your pride, your ego is bruised. You have to hurry up and fix it because someone's going to ask you about your results. Or worst case scenario, you're making your results public. You have now compounded the difficulty of trading to unbelievable levels. A lot of people can't trade under that kind of pressure. It will prevent you from finding success because you're afraid of the outcome for the purposes of having other people's opinion placed on you. And a lot of you want that in the beginning. That's dumb. That's stupid. But what happens if you go into trying to mitigate that loss with half the risk that you put on, half the leverage? In other words, say you had a one mini S&P or NASDAQ contract on, and you took a $200 loss. Okay, $200 is $200, but it's not life-ending, right? What happens if you went down into micro lots? Say you did a series of trades using micros, 2 or 3 of them, instead of using one mini. So you're trading with anywhere between $2 to $6 per handle movement versus $20 per handle movement in the mini contract. But you take that $200 loss back using the smallest amount of leverage. Why would you not want to give yourself that historical record that you can do that? Now, some of you dumb fucks are going to sit there and say, oh, look at this. This trade didn't go here. Look, he sucks. That's not what this is about. This is for you to desensitize yourself. Getting out there, because if you're fearful of taking a trade, if you're fearful of missing the real fair value gap or the real order block or the real whatever, this is what you're supposed to be doing when you're not watching my live streams or watching my videos. What are you doing with your demo account? What are you doing watching price action? These are the things that you're trying to do. They're little laboratory experiments that gives you baseline data. That means this is what my first soiree, this is my first attempt in doing this. Not knowing much about anything, I'm going to do this exercise and I'm going to do it every single day. And in the results of each individual day and across the week, how many transactions did you do? What were the net results of it? How many times did you see a stop out? How many times did you see it go to target? How many times did it fail but move halfway to the target? These are all KPIs. These are all things that are going to help you build an enterprise mindset about your trading. It's not just simply, I got money to put down and let's pull the slot machine arm and see what happens. And then get on social media and parade like a dickhead. Like, look how smart I am. Dude, I'm fucking a predator. I'm a caveman. Look at me. Come at me, bro. I do that as a character. That's not my character in real life. My wife will tell you. My kids will tell you. That's not who I am. But I do it because I know it causes a lot of ruckus and people talk. And that's free advertisement, because if they're going to talk, that's people's going to come here. And then you probably found your way to this Twitter space because someone said something about me, and it probably wasn't a positive thing. It's probably something, listen to this guy, he's fucking crazy. He's bipolar, he's going to swing all over the place. And I use that to hook you, to bring you in here, to listen. And the people that are smart, they'll take the information and use it. Others can go off and fuck off, I don't care. But the point is, you have to have some kind of a baseline. And you have to guard yourself. And by refining your future self, by removing all the toxic stuff, filtering out all the bullshit that's going to be made available to you on social media, other influencers are going to give you opinions about things. Okay, that's their opinion. You didn't ask for it, did you? Some of you do. Some of you actually pay for it. You join other communities and they're bad-mouthing everybody. I badmouth every other trading discipline. Okay? Unless I put a person's name on it, I'm basically saying that everything you're learning, that is not what causes markets to go up and down. But if you want to lie to yourself and say the last time you had a bout of gout or tennis elbow, you bought, gold, it went up. That's your religion now. Your model is religion-based. And that's what harmonic patterns is to me. Because you're believing something that has no bearing on why price goes up. You're believing something so subjective. I don't have subjectivity in my analysis, because old highs have buy stops above it. Old lows have sell side below it. And there's inefficiencies in price. Pray tell, how the fuck is that make-believe? How is that in conjecture? You can't deny it. Anybody can look at the chart and see that. But tell me which trend line is the right one. Tell me what trend line is the right one on any given time frame. That's subjective. What's support and resistance level? Everybody's going to have a different support and resistance level. Everyone's going to come up with it. You get enough sample size of time frames, everybody's going to have something different. But everybody, if they understand what a fair value gap is, they're going to point to the same fucking candlestick. They're going to look at the same minor buy side, minor sell side, and then you have primary sell side, buy side. That's your dealing ranges. They're not up for discussion. They're not up for debate. There's a highest high and the lowest low inside the session. That's it. The previous day's high and low. Are they hiding that information from you? No. Previous week's high and low. Are they hiding that information? Are they changing it like Forex fucking dealers? Everybody has a different high and low. Everybody has a different settlement price. Speaking of settlement price, do you see where NASDAQ closed on Friday? At the low of that buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency that we were studying. You think that's fucking random? You think that that's just going to happen because sellers said, oh, we're not going to go any lower than that. Buyer said, I don't want to buy anymore. So then sellers balanced out and stopped it right at the low of the buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency that we were looking at on the live stream. And they said there's no algorithm. Come on, man. You got to wake up. The whole world's ran on algorithms now. Everything you watch on social media, it's getting piped to you based on what you have watched before. They're learning you. They're studying you like a candlestick, motherfucker. They got you pegged. They know where your high and low is, and they know how to run your stops. They know how to get you excited. They know how to make you spend money. They know how to blow your account. That's your bank account. Oh, I was just thinking about that. Fill in the blank. Because your little device that you're listening to me in right now, it's listening to you. And every time you talk about something, I'm in the car driving. I never take my cell phone with me anywhere unless my wife's shopping. And then I'm usually on social media blasting it. I'm trying to zone out because she's asking me questions. What do you think about this? And you think I look good in this? And how about these? Which one you like better? I said, fuck. Any question you ask me like that, I'm not going to give you the right answer. So if you like them both, just fucking buy them both. And then I'm done. I'm completely exempt. I can't be looked at like, oh, you asshole. You should like this one more. Why'd you ask me? If you like it more, why does it matter if I like it more? But that's a woman thing. And a guy thing is, keep me the fuck out of that. But to be a supporting, nurturing husband, I go along as the wallet with legs, okay? So I handed a credit card, and I'm basically distracting myself with social media. Chances are, if I'm going 100 miles an hour on social media, I'm probably in a climate where my wife is spending money and I don't want to be there paying attention to that because I'm trying to avoid her. Because if she sees me in my phone, chances are she's not going to ask me the question, but okay, I ain't going to ask him. He's doing his thing. He's being ICT. He's ICT doing ICT things. Bro, we don't care about your wife. We don't care about all this stuff. Tell us how to make money. I am. I'm telling you how to have the right mindset. Because if you don't think correctly, if you don't manage stress, and here's where we're going to segue into it. So for those folks that want to do things on YouTube and you're recording this,
there are online applications, and then there's Capfin's online application. You didn't hear it from us.
If you are trying to learn from me, and if you really want to be independent in your thinking about how you should engage the marketplace, this is the absolute best way to do it, folks. And I swear to God Almighty, I wish I could convey it much harder than this. I don't know how to articulate it more than that. I want you to do it the right way. And I have paid students that don't want to fucking listen. From 2016, they still didn't do this part yet. They still didn't do this part. And it just takes a couple months to do it. But distractions, lack of discipline, personal schedules, personal character flaws, stubbornness, all those things are contributing factors. Fear of doing it wrong. For some reason, y'all think that, pushing a button with a live account, because you think it might do something, and if you get it right, it'll ease the pain of the scary feeling of what happens if I get it wrong. So you focus more on, if I get it right and I make money, wow, that's gonna be awesome. If you're trying to learn like that, you're doing it incorrectly, because you're making every transaction with these charts a monetary success or failure when you don't know how to trade. So the only thing that's establishing is fear of failure. That's exactly what that does. If you just simply look at the comment section of the videos and the Twitter spaces and the Twitter posts that I make, the main psychological barrier that people constantly bring up is, how does a trader overcome the fear of it not moving the way they want it to do it? And here's how you have to get over this. You have to watch day after day, week after week, month after month, how you read price. How is it that you're going to go into the marketplace and look for a specific setup? When are you going to be trading? Are you going to trade at 8:30? Are you going to trade at 9:30? Are you going to try to find a setup before 8:30 because you have to be at work? Are you going to be trading in the London session because you can't be in front of the charts or have access to the charts during the New York session? See, all those factors are going to weigh heavily. Knowing where the market is right now, where is it not likely to go? That's the first mindset that you should have. Once you've arrived at where the draw on liquidity is, where's it going to reach for, that's the number one deciding factor of a profitable trader. Because if you don't know where it's going, it matters not where your stop loss is. Because if you're upside down in your trade idea and you're going against the grain, you're offside, going against the direction that the market really going to go in. See, that's what you're afraid of right now as a new student. You don't know what you're doing. Just tell me the bias ICT and I'll do the rest. No, you'll lose money. You'll lose money. Because you'll go in, you won't hold the trade properly, you won't use a stop loss, but you'll see a tiny little fluctuation and you'll think it's reversing on you and you'll collapse the trade, and then it'll run in the direction that I said it would go. And then you're going to chase it, move too much, and same thing. Oh no, it's going back down into a natural, small little retracement, institutional order flow, maybe a fair value gap. And that feeling of when price is retracing into something like that, when you hear me talk about, okay, this is what it should do, and you want to let this happen, it's completely normal. It's a boring conversation we're going to be having over the chart. You can't put blinders on thinking, well, that stuff over that country, that's their problem. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm making money. No, that can cause you to not have opportunity or your trade to become irrelevant. And it doesn't mean that the model's changed or that the concepts are failing now or to change the algorithm. It just means that's natural market conditions. It's a variable. You have to make allowance for that, which is what risk management is all about. So when you understand where the market's likely to go next, that's your number one priority. Know how to determine where the market is likely to go to next, the highest degree of probability of it going higher or lower, and what level specifically. And knowing that if there is enough range between where the market is trading at the time when you determine where the next draw on liquidity is it going up? Okay, where's it going up to? Likely. Now, if there is a 20 handle or 20 point movement between market price and where you think it's going to go up to, that gives you a really good opportunity to get your 5 handles. But why can't I go for 20? You can once you know how to trade. But right now, I'm trying to give you a very easy, low-hanging fruit objective to strive for a consistent opportunity to do each time. You got to trust me, folks. I'm taking you exactly where you want to go. You just haven't been here before. I've been here many times over. I know how to teach this stuff. I know what it's likely to do next. I'm going to fail sometimes, but you're going to see most of the time I'm going to be right. Period. That's what trading is. You're going to have times when you think you see your setup and you're going to engage. You're going to put your stop loss exactly how it should be. You're going to have your partials already in mind where you're going to take this much off, and you're going to get determined. It's your final target. And that's your entire plan, how you're engaging that price move. And it's going to go down and hit your stop loss. But you don't need to do anything but just trade one. You can just do ES and it's fine. Stop listening to these Yahoo cowboys down there. They're blowing their accounts every day in front of you on live streams, telling you you got to be in the NQ. No, you got to learn how to be able to do this correctly and not be impulsive because of the quick sudden movement that NQ will have over ES. ES is still going to fucking move. It's going to move. They're both moving. But you want to be able to find consistent setups. And if you can take 5 handles out, listen, okay? Because I'm going to graduate your understanding, very small little increments. 5 handles per day. That's your goal between February 7th and the end of the year. You want to be able to find that. I didn't say you need to trade with a live account or your funded account and get 5 handles. That's not what I said there, folks. Listen, your goal is to be able to consistently find 5 handles that you can see manifest before it delivers in price. You will have that skill by the end of the year. If you listen to me, you will fucking be able to do that, and nobody will be able to take that from you. They won't be able to troll it out of you. They won't be able to cause you to have doubts. They won't be able to fucking cause you any confusion. They're not going to distract you. They're not going to lull you into do some kind of dumb shit over here. You're going to find 5 handles a day, and 5 handles a day on a 1 minute contract is $250 a day. That's not a lot of money. But when you consistently make that every single day, I guarantee you 70% of this listening audience, it's more than you earn a week. And that's just one contract. So what happens if you parlay that up and you get to another $10,000 in profit? Now you can do two contracts. Now you're making $500 a day. And then you make another $10,000. You can afford to do one more contract. So now you're making $750 a day. So you all want to do what you see these fuckers on Instagram and fake shit. Oh, I flipped my account this month. No. Show me precision entry, impeccable risk management, consistently. That right there makes millionaires. And you can start with any amount. Any. Fuck these clowns, okay? These people are literally teaching you to do the most stupid shit, and they want you to pay them $5,000 for it. No, you don't need that, folks. You don't need that. You're listening to an old fuddy-duddy 50-year-old man that knows this shit like the back of his hand. And I can't wait for you to see this stuff laying in your hands that you can pick it up anytime you want, like a tool that you've trained with and you know exactly how to do it, how it can hurt you, and you don't do those things to hurt yourself. And you'll be able to choose when you want to get in there and do something. You're going to be able to scale this as big as you want or as small and consistent as you want. You want to treat it like a part-time job? I'll teach you how to do that. You want to turn this into a fucking empire? I'll teach you how to do that too. It's going to cost you nothing but showing up each day. That's all you got to do, folks. That's all you got to do. Take notes and just listen, because I'm going to prove this shit to you on these charts live. And then a fucker out there going to be able to say anything about it. Not one thing. Not one thing. You are getting ready to embark on an exciting experience. I fucking wish I had this when I was coming up. Like, I wish I had this. And I'm doing everything I can, and I'm planning all the exercises and everything that I'm going to put you through exactly how I wish, knowing what I know now, looking back at my 20-year-old self. The perfect mentor, the perfect guy to listen to and learn from would be able to do what I'm about to do. I'm not enticing you to trade with live accounts. I'm not enticing you to go with any broker. I'm not enticing you to use any particular funded account. Notice I don't do that. I don't rep brokers. There's somebody out there right now pretending to be me saying that this is the broker that I recommend. I don't recommend any of them. They're all fuckers. They're all going to fuck with you some way, shape, or form. Start making a lot of money and they will fuck with you. Trust me. You're going to get slippage. You're going to get requotes. It's just the way it works, folks. That's just the way it is. They're small little nuisances. That's all it is. And that's why you don't want to have all of your money in one account. You want to spread your money across several brokers, and one account only, one account. That's the one you parlay up. But everything else, when you make money, you take it out. Don't leave your money sitting out there. You know, anything can happen in a brokerage firm. You know, we could have a big major crash, a flash crash that nobody expects. Not even me. Something can come out and boom, market just shifts itself. And brokerages can go under. And you don't get your fucking money, folks. This is gone. So you don't want to have everything, all your eggs in one basket analogy works appropriately here. So I don't represent any broker. I don't represent any funded account. I never tell you to join a brokerage firm. I never tell you this broker's good, go here. I don't ever say use this funded account. I don't ever do that. That's why I don't do commercials for people. I don't do product placement in my videos on YouTube. I get lots of requests to do that every single month. They email me and say, you know, would you be interested in letting us do a 30-second commercial and we'll pay you $5,000 for it? No, thank you. I don't want my channel to be that way. I don't want that, because that means I'm saying what? I co-sign your product, your service, your brokerage firm, your funded account. I don't have that. And I have people that are reaching out that want to start that partnership with me, and I am not going to do it. So there's no incentive for me except for your success. That's it. That's it. That's all I want to see you do. I want to see you do well. I want you to send me emails occasionally once in a while and say, hey, look, this is what I was able to do. Thank you so much. I was able to help this person. I'm doing this over here. I'm building a hospital. I put a wing on the hospital over here. I'm putting a orphanage together here. I've funded this entire village of individuals and I've gave them food for the next 90 days. That's treasure to me. I don't give a shit about online clout. I don't care about that. I want you to be able to feed yourself and your family and help others and be passionate about doing that. And most of you wouldn't even think doing that because you can't hardly make your own bills right now. But once you are able to do this consistently and you can make another stream of income and you decide when you're going to do it. And small losses like a flat tire going to work, they're inconvenience, expenses. It's not fun. It's irritating. That's what losing is in trading. That's exactly what it's like because it's measurable. You know exactly where you're going to put the stop loss. You know why, if it goes there, you're going to get stopped out. And you want that to happen. If you're wrong, you want that to be the very mechanism that prevents you from losing more. How do I get over the fear? You go through it. You just walk forward. That's it. You just keep walking forward. But if you're walking forward with no stop loss, recklessly over trading, adding more contracts when you're already down, trying to dig your way out of it, then you get results like you see some of these YouTubers out there doing. That's not what you want to do, folks. It's not. Have a very easy, low-hanging fruit objective. Something that's easy, a target that can be easily reached. I think, and somebody that's been trading for a while probably snickered earlier when I said 2.5 handles. Okay, 2.5 points. 2.5 points is nothing. But high-frequency algorithms will fire in there all day long, going up and down in the same day, doing that all day long, and make, well, a lot of money. But they're losing too. They're getting that ebb and flow, up and down, up and down, up and down. They're not always winning, but they know over the course of the day, ripping into that marketplace over and over and over and firing in there constantly, catching fluctuations of 1.5, 2.5, 3 handles. Once it gets there, they're out. They're not in there trying to get the daily range, average daily range. They're not trying to run for buy side liquidity. They're not trying to run for sell side liquidity. They're just in there getting fluctuations over and over and over again. They're capitalizing on that minor fluctuation. Algorithms that are engaging the market. I'm not talking about the algorithm that the market engine uses for price delivery. I'm talking about traders, entities on the outside that are trying to capitalize on price fluctuation. So don't be discouraged by 2.5 handles as, oh, that's not worth my time, bro. No, you can do a lot. You can do a lot with that because you can take that and scale it and say, okay, I know I don't have a whole lot of time to be doing anything in the marketplace because my schedule won't permit it. Okay, fine. But you can find 2.5 handles. You can get that. Not that I'm encouraging it, but on a smoke break at work, a bathroom visit while you're at work, while you're walking through the mall, while you're waiting for your wife to pick out the shoes that she doesn't need, like I have to do sometimes. Okay, I can't stand being here. She's going to ask me, do you like these? Man, why are you going to put me in a situation where I'm going to lose no matter what? You know what I'm talking about, gentlemen, right? I have to be distracted from that. It'll drive me crazy. So I'll go on the phone and there it is. I'm in trading view messing around with something. 2.5 handles is easy. That's literally like fruit hanging on a tree that you just walk up to and grab a hold of it, pluck it off. Whenever the fuck you want. Whenever you want. As long as that market's moving, you don't need to be in those times I've told you to trade in. But 5 handles is what I want you to focus on. That's your goal. In your journal, that's what you're looking for. So by looking at having a very small window of expectation on what you should be trying to pull out of the marketplace, that being 5 handles. Okay. If we go through this process and you take 3 months.
Let me tell you something about Phonium. Yes, it's the rent a new smartphone Phonium. But for me, Phonium is where I get to save Imalium.
And you can't get 5 handles, but you can show a record of you doing consistently 3 to 4 handles each time you do it. You're not there at 5 handles, but you're able to go in there and see when it's going to likely move in one direction or the other. And you can time it with a small time frame. Because if you can time it with a small time frame, you can time it with a larger time frame. The larger time frame just takes more time to deliver it. But it's the same thing because price is fractal. It's the same things that are occurring on these small 1 minute and 5 minute charts are occurring on weekly and monthly charts. It just takes a whole lot more time. I don't have the patience for that. Some of you might have the patience for that. You may have the predisposition to do, hey, I can do a trade on a weekly chart. I don't want to go anything lower than a weekly chart. I don't know how anybody could do that because that's an incredible amount of patience. I don't have that much patience. I can change my mind very quickly. I can have something distract me and take me out of a train of thought. And it takes me time to get back in sync. So if I'm a trader that requires just daily candles and I get a news report or something happens and we break out into some kind of conflict in another country or a scandemic breaks out again, something to that effect, all that stuff's going to take my attention and dilute it from what I'm trying to do in the marketplace, and I won't be able to focus. So because I am obsessively compulsive, and I'm bipolar. I'm wrestling a lot of mental baggage, okay, that I can't fix. I'm hardwired this way. I can't fix it. So I found where I can engage, where it gives me plenty of opportunity, even if I lose my focus. Someone distracts me, my children distract me, I'm late to my chart because of something. I have to eat something, or I have to, relieve myself. We're all human beings. Something has you away from the charts and you can't be there. Okay, that's fine. A 1 in 5 minute chart puts me right back in sync with things, and I can find another setup. Every single 60-minute candle has an opportunity for you to trade that 2022 model. What? Yeah. During those times, I've taught you to focus on, not every hour, during those hours of 8:30 to 9:30 to 10:30. Every hour candle, if you strip that down to 15-second candles, that 2022 model exists there. What? Yeah. There's there was a children's movie my youngest son drove us to a couple years ago. Dr. Seuss. Something, the fact that like there was this elephant or whatever, at least it looked like an elephant, and they lived in this world or whatever, and he heard somebody talking, or these little characters talking in this flower or something. The memory is vague, but I remember when they zoomed into this world, it was a whole lot of things going on inside there where it's microscopic. Well, if you're looking at an hourly candle, and imagine that you had a microscope and you drilled down into that 1 hour candle and how much movement took place inside that 1 hour candle, and you look at it through the lens of a 15-second chart, that 2022 model is there every single hour. The fluctuations are not going to be monumental, but that same thing can be programmed and coded as an algorithm that fires just like that, autonomously. Your perception of price is so heavily taken out of focus with the books, the logic that people teach you, that don't know how price is really going to book. They have no idea where it's likely to go next. You do the things I tell you to do. You don't do the things I tell you not to do. Focus on the things I'm telling you to focus on and nothing else. If you just follow that going through the rest of this year, you will get the understanding that you need to do it independently. You'll know when to do something, when not to do something. You'll understand how to place a stop loss. You'll understand what it feels like to get in there doing it and desensitize yourself. That means remove all that fear and anxiety that you're feeling about doing it incorrectly. You're going to do it incorrectly, but that incorrectly done process doesn't always equate to failure. What causes failure? Repetitively going in, fixing what you think is an error. It's just a transaction that didn't pan out. And it took something away that wasn't a deposit in money, a loss of time. Doesn't it go without saying, if you're watching something, if it goes to 5 handles, you should do what? Initially, square the position off right there at 5 handles and just watch, does it go beyond 5 handles? And you're going to feel all this impulsive behavior start to well up inside you. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. If you're trading with a live account and following along in the commentaries I'm going to do in live streaming, you're going to feel like, oh no, I shouldn't have listened to ICT, that fucker. He told me to get out of 5 handles. Look at it, it's already 30 handles. What did you learn there? Greed. And it's going to build in the building blocks of fear of missing out on that next big rip. Instead of just saying, I was looking for 5, it gave me 5, I moved to the sidelines, and now I'm going off to go spend time with my kids, go watch a movie, I'm outside, I'm doing whatever I want to do, take a drive in my car, I'm on vacation, I got this one in and nobody knew about it, it's done. But once you see how we can see these things panning out every single time, it's the same fucking shit. It becomes entertaining. It's almost like the book you've read multiple times. You know the plot, you know the character engagements, and you know how it's going to end. Now, that same book that you read over and over and over again, you give it to your kid, or your dog gets a hold of it, chews it up, rips a couple pages out, or spills coffee on it, and you can't read a certain paragraph. Do you lose resolution if you go through that book and can't read that 1 or 2 paragraphs? You lose a little bit, but you are familiar. You still know what is likely to occur. You've been there before. It's kind of like a hologram, okay? A hologram and how I'm going into a scientific. Well, I'll just go there. A hologram is an image that's formed with a capacity that allows for some things taken from it, and you'll still see it. You might lose a little bit of resolution, but you can still see it. Versus only being able to see black and white, binary only. That's not what this is. Because you're going to be able to see more than just one setup, which makes you much more effective as a trader. See, if you're following on logic, like most retail things are, you're looking for this one pattern. You're looking for this one setup and this indicator. When it's oversold, you're trying to buy it. When it's overbought, you're trying to sell short. If the moving averages are pointing down, you're trying to go short. When an overbought reading happens in your indicator, that really confirms that it's probably time to sell. By that logic, once that pans out, and say the market starts to drop a little bit and it leaves the overbought condition, and you're between overbought and oversold, you're in that area where, hey, you're between setups. That was one of the frustrating things I had when I was using retail stuff and fumbling. Only when the market was going parabolically up, I felt that it was working, because I only used a 50-day moving average on the daily chart for my bias. If it was sloping up, I wanted to focus on being long. And then I used an hourly stochastics, slow stochastics, and I looked for type 1 bullish divergence, which is the classic lower low in price and a higher low in stochastics while it's oversold. Once the K and D crossed on the stochastic, that line, once that occurred, then I would go in the next day and I would buy strength at the open. And that's how I was trading. That was it. There was nothing to it more than that. Now, I was teaching people like I had figured out, how to end world hunger. This is to fix everything. And some of my students back from the 90s on America Online are actually still in this community here. Hi, Ray and Steve Michael Garner. The folks that have watched me evolve as a educator and as a mentor know full well the difference between today and how it was when I was just discovering how money can be made. But I can tell you, as a 50-year-old looking back, those instances, I really didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know anything. And I translated market success on just a whim. It just happened. Okay, it was coincidence that I happened to be long in a time when the market was going up. And I didn't understand it was going up because there was no way for it to do anything but that at the time. Everything was in a commercial bull market. It was just parabolic. Everything was just straight up. So anybody buying anything could have made money then. And that, to me, looking back, was very painful as a young man, because I was wanting it so badly to be skill when it was just happenstance. Whereas now I can talk to you in wisdom and know that was not wisdom then. That was pure and absolute luck. Whereas now, today, I have something that's measurable, it's transferable, and other people are doing it, and they're making real money with it, not just market replay or paper trading or demo. They're really realizing profitable results, and they're handling that and spending it and doing whatever they want to do with it, as they should. But as a retail trader, if you're focused on whatever it is that they're teaching with retail, once that trade scenario starts, they train you to do what? Well, if you didn't take the trade, let it go and wait for the next trade setup. Well, what if it means that you have to wait for that crossing of the moving averages and they got to be sloping down, and then you got to wait for another overbought scenario to go short? That's a whole lot of wasted fucking time for me. Like, I couldn't tolerate that. So one of the things that became a transition for me out of retail stuff is that even though if I was thinking that if the market was bearish, whatever market I was trading, and I was using a 50-day moving average to give me my bias, and then on the lower time frames, 4 hour and 1 hour, I would use a 10 and 20 moving average, exponential moving average. And if they were both pointing down and, stacking, in other words, they're separating and pointing down both directions. If the daily at a 50-day moving average that was going down too, that to me was a very, very strong bearish bias. Then if I waited for an hourly overbought, that would get me in sync with a move that had already happened on a higher time frame, where other traders that using that logic wouldn't even consider it. So what did I start doing without really knowing what I was doing? I was taking the fractal nature of price and breaking down a larger move into smaller moves that repeat the same way. Trading by itself is already inherently risky, and you have to have a way to control yourself. You have to control how much you risk, your leverage, the amount of money per trade, how much of a stop loss you're going to allow in terms of points or pips. You have to place a limit on that. What days of the week are you going to trade? Are you going to trade any old time? I teach what? A kill zone. And we're shorting. We want to see it go up first. That's what institutional traders do. They have mechanisms. They have to wait for the market to have an uptick before they can go short. So I adopted that with my perspective and price. I need to see what first. It needs to go higher. Okay, so where does it need to go to? Above some measure of equilibrium. So I'm having all these rules and these control mechanisms placed in my logic because it's an algorithm that's pricing these markets and it's booking them. And they have what? Control mechanisms, filters. So I'm aligning myself with an algorithmic principle-oriented trading model. But if you are teaching, or if you're learning from someone that's not using a stop loss and preaches they don't need to use a stop loss because they know where they're going to get out, what they're saying is they know what the market's going to do. Absolutely. So therefore, they don't need a stop loss. That is the definition of arrogance. I am not arrogant. I'm confident. Probably sometimes too blisteringly confident for some. But I do have limitations. And to teach or to illustrate trading without a stop loss, there is no other way to say it, folks. This is the way it is. Those individuals that are doing that are saying they know what the market's going to do. Now, they may say it and believe it, but that's not true. I don't know what the market's going to do. I have to use a stop loss. I know it's likely to do this or that, but I have to use a stop loss. Why? Because I'm human. I may have done something wrong. I may have shirked a rule of engagement, bent the rules a little bit. I've done that in the past. I'm human. Sometimes I think, this looks like it's trying to do this. I want to do that, but it looks like it's doing this. And I'll just toss in something small. But I'm using a stop loss. Why? Because I don't know what the manual side of intervention is going to do. And nobody knows that. That's the risk that is always in the offing. You have to have that that awareness of that potentially harming you. And if you're learning from someone, or if you're trying to do this without using a stop loss, what you're saying is you have no boundaries. That means whatever the market wants to do to you, you're inviting it. Now, there are times when manual intervention comes in and a major repricing in the market asset takes place, and your stop loss necessarily will be of no protection to you. And what does that mean? You might have a 20 handle stop loss on your index futures trade. Now, I'm not arguing or making the case that 20 handles is the appropriate size, but let's just say for the discussion here, say you have 20 points, okay? And the market has some kind of major announcement comes out, or someone gets bombed. Boom, the market just gaps. 40 handles. Think you can't do that? Stick around, because you're going to see stuff like that real soon. But what happens with your stop loss? Does the market and the broker say, hey, Jane had her stop loss at 42.50. Okay. But it gapped 43.10. Oh, it can't move like that. Either direction, it can do that. No problem, given the right circumstance. They're not going to go back and say, okay,